Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Rob Thompson. I'm still out in California. I can't get my light right, so it's a little bit weird and a little bit creepy, I guess. But anyways, it's early morning. I'm still out in LA. I'm heading back today. And so welcome to the Sports Biz Podcast. This is episode 107. And I'm going to continue to talk about career development. And yesterday's show, we were talking, I was recapping our trip down to Florida for the Pro Bowl. But I want to take it a step further, and I want to drill down into the four different, I guess I call them tent poles, the four different tent poles, and I hate this slide, this is ridiculous. The four different tent poles within a career development or a career journey for a career seeker. I don't know how many times I'm going to say career, but a career seeker in the sports industry. And I've gotten it to a point now where I got a process down that I've used now for the last 2 years, and it's been able to give me a couple different phases within that journey. And a lot of it, if you are a parent of a student that loves sports, passionate about sports, especially a high school student, and they're trying to figure out what their career is going to be. I know as a parent of 4 children, and 3 of which have already gone through college, or one's still going through college. You know, it's you continually ask them, what do you want to study? And some of them don't have an idea of what they want. I know I certainly did not as a criminal justice major who spent his career in the sports and media industry. So, you know, those are the things as a parent you just can't you can't panic about. And you shouldn't panic about it. You should support, you know, your students and your children on the overall experience, but there's certainly opportunities for them to get a little bit more awareness and discovery of those areas that they may want to consider. You know, you take those things that you're passionate about when you're 16, 17 years old, and you try to convert that into a living. And certainly you're influenced by your parents and what they do for their careers. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. But at the end of the day, just like you know, if you are a parent and you had your career, I mean, your parents influence you to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, you have your own process and you have your own desires and goals that you ultimately go after. So this career development program that I have on my website, robthompsonlive.com, there's a couple different areas that I've been able to kind of figure out. Number one, after I wrote my book, and now this ebook, I've been able to kind of supplement some of those options for you, if you do have children, if you're an old guy like me or a woman, and you're trying to help them with their discovery process. So I broke it into 4 different areas. Number one is the self-assessment. I think that's critical. The first thing is, when I talk to students, and for years when I talked to not only just students, but it was a lot of college kids trying to figure out what's that next step once they graduate, because a panic button is happening because of student loans, and you know the shot clock has started for them. But also drilling down further into high school age students who, before they make that decision to go to college and what to study, you know, there's so many variables go into it. If they are a student athlete, where do they want to go and continue their career in athletics? But also, more importantly, what do they want to study and what's that career track? So there's so many pieces of that puzzle that have to come into place for a parent and certainly for the student to decide, do all of these things check off the box, that ultimately I can make my decision based on where I find the best fit, not just financially, but for ultimately for a long-term career. So what I have found is going through these for the last several years of helping, whether it's a career pivoter or whether it's a discovery for a student, or it's, hey, I'm in a panic mode, I need a job in the industry, is let me find out more about you. Let me do a deep dive on you. Like, what makes you tick? What are your barriers? What are the things, where is your ambition, and where does that meet your skill level and your talent, right? You may want to be the general manager of the New York Yankees, but and you have an ambition to get there, but does your skill and your talent level, will that allow you to get there? Are you going to be able to take the right steps to get there? So whether that's starting off in the legal career, or as a CFO on a financial side, or are you going to be on the playing side and the athletic side, so player development, all of those things. It's a discovery. What exactly is a general manager? And then all the teams that have presidents, and then what are agencies. So there's an assessment process that I've put together working with a higher ed clinician of career development, business development, basically doing a deep dive, a self-assessment, self-awareness, IQ, EQ, all of those things that kind of come into play. How does that match up with does your ambition match your skill set? So that piece of the process is number one, and that's above and beyond anything else along the line. So starting that process early in their career, earlier in their scholastic career, while they're still in high school, is so critical. So that's the first part. And again, it's on my website, and that's just, let's see where you stack up. Let's have a plan. Let's find out what is in the past, what's kind of currently in the future, and use all that information collected together, aggregate that, and then be able to map out what their options are, what are their suggestions, what's that strategy to get there. Understanding the entire picture, the family dynamic, the resources financially, all of those things together really do matter. And then the second part of this is, and this is the second tentpole, is the discovery of the industry. Everybody for the most part wants the glamorous jobs and the glamorous parts of the industry, whether thinking you can become a general manager and be on TV, or whether you're going to be on ESPN or NBC Sports as in a broadcast studio, right? Or seeing yourself flying around a plane with athletes. Those things are so far-fetched. Not saying they can't happen, but there's a reality to that, right? There's so many variables into that. So the industry discovery process, and one thing that we learned when I brought the students down to Orlando, when we went over to the Golf Channel, the majority of them majority of the students were blown away. Said, I never thought that I would even be remotely interested in this type of business. I didn't even think about the media side of it. Well, what they found out was all the things that they thought they were interested, whether it was facility management, market, event management, operations, all of those things are still part of the media side of the business. What they may see it as a team, the media part of it, they didn't understand that there's a correlation between the two. All they see is what the glamorous side is, what turns up on TV, not the back end piece of it, that their interests, their skill sets will match up within that industry as well. So the discovery process of all the different avenues to get there, whether it's an activation agency, event management agency, media, other types of vendors, a technology company, startups, there's so many different pieces. So the second tentpole of the process is without a doubt the industry discovery. So we got an idea of who you are, what's your makeup, what's your x-ray of your life, matching that up with the industry discovery, so light bulbs start coming up. And then the third part, and the third tentpole in this process, in this career development process, is without a doubt, it's one-on-one coaching. So now we have an idea about you from an assessment. We've already started to go through the industry discovery, right? And now we're kind of putting that together. Here's what we know about you. Here's kind of what you like. Here's what you're interested in. And now let's now create a strategy. Let's create a strategy and let's start holding you accountable for that strategy of execution. It could be do a little deeper dive in this area, or your skills need to come up a little bit more in, could be editing, it could be graphic design, it could be a little bit more experience in event management. I love the quote by Anthony Bourdain that says, before you think you can be on TV as a celebrity chef, go work in an Olive Garden first in the kitchen just to see if you like it. And I feel like it's the same thing here. So that coaching process is going to give them a framed-in roadmap for their career. And that framed-in roadmap for their career it's going to change. You're going to have a bend in the road. There's going to be another direction that came up, but at least you have an end goal that they can start re-engineering and work backwards and understanding the proper steps to get there. And if they hit it and they're like, I don't like that direction, they could go somewhere else with it, right? But the more things they try, which I tell them, my own children and any other kid I mentor, is just say yes. Someone offers you an opportunity to volunteer, to intern, or to help with whatever, maybe a digital agency or a startup, just say yes, because you need to try it. You're going to discover, and students are going to discover, and we all did, well, we're going to figure out what we hate doing before we discover what we love to do. It's just a natural progression within our own careers, and it's no different for our children and students. So that's the career coaching is the first. Self-assessment, industry discovery, career coaching. And the last one is immersion. Immersion into the industry. And again, it goes back to Anthony Bourdain's quote. You got to figure it out. You have to get your hands dirty. You have to see what it's all about. You're never going to truly understand what it's like unless you're in that position. So part of our journey with the students down to the Pro Bowl was not only visiting the different pro teams that are down there, the media, the Golf Channel, but also working at the game. And that immersion into it starts taking everything that they've learned, everything that they envisioned, and starts bringing it to life. Like, this is what you want to work for the NFL, you want to work in this industry, see what it's like. You're not going to be the one walking around from day one with the lanyard and a walkie-talkie and looking like you're busy walking around, bossing people around. It's not going to happen. You're going to be the one putting up the tents. You're going to be the one at 5 a.m., putting up the activities and the signage and making sure the sponsors have all their deliverables. That's with a team, that's with an agency, that's just reality. That's with a facility. You're going to be dealing with people who may not be as nice and friendly. Those are called fans or customers, right? Dealing with them, understanding, their point of view. They expect to be easy and fun. And when it's hot and you're tired and things are breaking and the weather comes in, you're never going to understand the industry until you're there. So this trip and this immersion into the industry gave them such an insight, a tremendous inside look into the industry. So those are my 4 tent poles when I talk about my programming and what I offer with robthompsonlive.com. And you could go there and you just see all the different programs and products. I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied on that one. It should be pretty easy. So I just want to continue this conversation a little bit more, dive a little bit deeper into what my program is and what I see in the industry, what I'm passionate about after a long career, and helping students, especially on the discovery process, helping those who are pivoting in their career, who maybe had a sport management degree or came out or love and passionate about sports and kind of went down that road that they're not too happy with their career now. I know what it's like to get up in the morning and just, oh my gosh, I hate going in. I'm not motivated by this. I don't believe in what we're doing. Yes, it's good money. Yes, it's a stable job, but you got one life to live. You got one career to have. And you might as well go for it. You might as well swing for the fences. And if you're a parent and obviously we all want the best for our own children. We want to put them in a position to be successful, but we also want to put them in a position to experience life and in a life resume building. And now, the stakes are a little bit higher now, a lot higher now. With the cost of higher education. There's so many wonderful sport management schools out there, UNH being one of them, of course. But there's so many options out there for them. If you have a chance prior to them making those decisions, I could help. And I could help with that. I could help frame that in with my process that I've developed. Don't want this to be salesy, but I hope that you got something out of this video and out of this podcast that I'm doing. I'm recording it over here that will help you understand a little bit more of what options are available out there, what help and supports out there that's available for you. It's such a wonderful industry. There's so many people that find it because they are an uber sports fan, and they are a passionate sports fan, I should say, that there is a real opportunity for a career in it. Maybe it's not always going to be as glamorous as you think it's going to be, but there's certainly real career paths, real opportunities to make a great living, but more importantly, doing what you love to do every day and feeling like you have an impact in people's lives, and being able to get up every day to do that, which I have been very lucky in my career to be able to do that, knock on wood. and continue to do so. So hopefully this is all helpful. If this is of interest to you, please feel free to go onto my website, robthompsonlive.com, or at Rob Thompson Live for my YouTube or all my social media channels to continuously follow the content that I'm putting out. All is related to my journey, this journey within the sports industry. And I thank you very much for following me this morning and being part of my day. I'm flying back to New York today, so everybody have a great weekend whenever you watch this. If you're watching it live, good morning. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you tomorrow. Have a great day.